Richician.
Hey YouTube, Richician 84 here, and welcome to Q&A number 209. So again, not many questions, but I think they'll have long answers anyway. And as you can see, I'm back at my parents' place again, doing some more painting for them later on. I feel like this is going to be a reoccurring thing for the next few weeks. Oh, some glare I can't do anything about. That's a bit better, I guess. So anyway, painting for them, like pretty much on Wednesdays, seems to be a reoccurring theme at the moment. So I'm honestly thinking about changing the day that I do my Q&As again. Um, not not just because of this, but also because there's also games with Gongna that I usually have on Wednesdays. I don't know how, but he always seems to pick the day of my Q&A to have games. Although sometimes they happen on Saturday, but it's not a huge problem. But I feel like it would just be easier to do a Q&A on a separate day. Same with this. But nothing's been decided yet. I mean, I don't know whether or not to temporarily put them back to Tuesdays or start doing them on Thursdays. In fact, that's another thing. The other thing is Weber's 5 usually does his Q&A series on a Wednesday. And sometimes I can't help but worry that they'll clash. Not that it's really an issue at the moment, since there haven't been any questions for his one lately. But anyway, I'll decide something later. Let's actually start the questions, because we're already 2.5 minutes in. The first two are from Dark Magic Couple 1985. One, any thoughts on the new masked hero monster that was just announced? So that would be Masked Hero Fountain. Yeah, it's a really cool card. I like it. It's an extender and helps get around the fact that you would have either already normal summoned Stratos or Vion. So, if you have one or the other in hand and you summoned one of them, you can use Fountain to summon the other. And the other effect is quite interesting because it says if it's sent to the graveyard for an effect, or wait, hold on, I need to read the exact wording again. So you're not going to be able to see what I'm pulling up on the screen. It's just Edo Pro though. Also, watch out for some Edo Pro duels that me and Gungna filmed last week. I know it's taken a while to get them up, but they'll be up tomorrow, or start being uploaded tomorrow anyway. So yeah, Fountain. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a card effect, so basically for cost of something, or by a card effect, you can set a mask change from your deck or graveyard. That's also really good and very handy. So if you discard it for something like Twin Twisters, Thunder Giant, Plasma Vice, it will work. If you use it as a fusion material or send it with mask change, use Foolish Burial on it, so that will go off. So very cool, very handy. I think I've managed to put a couple of couples into my Masked Hero deck online. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Oops. 2. You are entering a time portal and you need to select one hero monster to guide you through the danger and ups and downs you will face. Which hero would you select to guide and protect you? It can't be a fusion. Well, damn. That puts a damper on picking Shining Flare Wingman. So, well, it's got to be the next best thing, Elemental Hero Neos. I mean, I'll happily pick him any day to help with this. I mean, I could pick Sparkman, but Neos would be more favourable, I guess. Not that I don't believe in Sparkman, it's just Neos was my first thought. And then the last few questions are from John Cross, who says, "Sorry I was late. I had to put things together for my mum." That's okay. And hey, guys, never ever apologise for being late to submit questions or not being able to submit questions, okay? Because I know other things in life happen that need attention, so it's okay. I get it. I understand. Just never apologise, okay? Anyway, the questions. 1. Did you know Gold Sarcophagus is at 3 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis? I did not know that until you mentioned it. So I went to the list to see how many points they have, and it seems that they're 10 points each. Well, 10 for each copy, I should say. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. But whether or not 3 would be played is another matter. As yeah, you need to be able to manage your points well in Genesis. Still haven't had any Genesis games yet. I really want to give it a go. 2. What are your thoughts on not using links in Genesis format? Well, I mean, here's the thing about it. Well, there are links that I do genuinely like, or particularly my top 10 favourite links. I think this is a good thing. Same thing regarding pendulums. I mean, no disrespect to pendulum and link fans, but they were a mistake. They shouldn't have been a thing. They were summoning mechanics that no one asked for, and the game was just generally better before they came along. Then again, I think it was better before synchros came along. That's another story. Um, so yeah, I think this is a good move, as it feels more like old school Yu-Gi-Oh in a way, and that's weird calling 5Ds and Zexal old school. I guess it would be at this point, um, but let's face it, Dual Monsters and GX are the real old school. Um, so yeah, it's a good thing, a good move on Konami's part. It basically gives a feel of how the game would be if pendulums and links didn't exist. Of course, that being said, no pendulums did hurt my Nouvelle deck a little bit, because it's got Poissonnaire and Chef de Nouvelle, and I can't use those in Genesis. I can't even use Pâté Sicelle. But luckily, I've been able to find a way to modify the deck online and in a way that makes it so that those pendulums aren't in there. I don't know whether or not it would work, but there'd only be one way to find out, of course. 3. Top 10 characters from 5Ds and Zexal. See, when I looked at this, I was like, are you serious? Like, this is a tall order. So I had to think really hard about this one. And I even managed to finish a couple of lists, like just the other day, actually. So here's the list. So 5D's characters. 10, I would say Jill Ransborg, uh, the knights that faced off against Akiza. Um, I mean, yeah, he only appeared in one episode, but I thought it was really cool. The fact that he was voiced by Eric Stewart, just the way he talked, and the fact he was playing a warrior deck. I mean, I do love a good warrior deck. Well, except Six Samurais and UAs and Dark Lord deck, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I thought the Masked Knights were really cool, and he was putting up a great fight against Akiza. Um, and it's surprising that the Masked Knights don't exist as real cards, even 17 years on after they were first seen. I mean, maybe we'll get them one day in like a future Battles of Legend pack, even though what people want more is the alchemy beasts and the armor cards. I mean, why they haven't been made into real cards yet is beyond me. And I'm sure Dark Magic Couple is thinking the same thing about alchemy beasts. Um, uh, yeah, even though Jill Ransborg was a minor character who only appeared in one episode, he's definitely a favourite. 9 would be Greiger, very confident, honourable duelist who'll do anything for his family and the people of his village. Um, and then there's the fact that he was playing reactors, which I thought were really cool as well, and made me want to build them myself, even though it's not exactly one of the best decks around. And Flying Fortress Skyfire, very cool card, but very difficult to summon. Um, I feel like it's about that time that reactors got support that just made them easier to play. Um, I mean, I managed to make something work online, but it's still not brilliant. But yeah, it's still fun, and that's all that matters. And also, I feel bad for Greiger that Goodwin lied to him and tricked him, which led him down a dark path, and that was joining the Dark Signers. Um, but at least he was saved. Um, that's all I was to say. Number 8 would be Carly. Um, Definitely a cool character, and actually, well, I guess a lot of guys would think this, but she looked hot in her Dark Signer outfit, definitely. Um, uh, um, and yeah, it was a potential love interest for Jack. It's quite funny actually that she's one of 3 women who'd swoon over him and just want to be with him. Um, uh, and yeah, it was pretty sad actually when Jack defeated her and she was being turned to dust, basically. Um, yeah, it's moments like that that are enough to even make a grown man cry. Um, yeah, and then there's the fact that she did play the Fortune Ladies. Well, when she was a dark signer, anyway. The Fortune Ladies are very cool, a lot of fun, very underrated, and became a fan favorite for a lot of people. I guess in a way it is surprising that I never made the deck myself, although I did build a version for the Edo Pro AI to use. Um, I just wish the Fortune Fairies were as good, which was her original deck. Um, I mean, they're quite fun too, but very hard to play, which Emma finds, although she did find them cute. But yeah, um, well, the Fortune Ladies are fine as they are. The Fortune Fairies need a lot more, to be more playable. Help us out here, Konami. Yeah, the best we can do with it is just make it a link spam deck that can build up to Quintet Magician. Like that's like the strongest play they have. Although I do admire Wyvern Watch's strategy of using them to go into Exodia. Um, so that would be a cool way to play Exodia, but I might not go for that myself, or Emma might not go for that herself. Um, anyway, I digress. Number 7 is another female character, Akiza, another fan favourite for a lot of people. Another hot anime woman, um, playing the iconic Black Rose Dragon, and and definitely the one that fans ship with Yusei. Um, yeah, they definitely could have been an item between those two. Um, but yeah, pretty scary characters first. Very strong duelist, and definitely made her mark as the strong female lead in the show. Um, and yeah, made definitely helped make Black Rose Dragon a popular card. Mind you, it it got popular anyway because of how good it actually is, whether it's in a competitive deck or a casual deck. So much so that it was even limited for a year, from like September 2009 to September 2010. Um, and of course, it's cool that she got her own archetype with the Rose Dragons. Um, I mean, it's all there is to say here. And speaking of dragons, this brings me to number 6, the Crimson Dragon. I mean, this the Crimson Dragon technically counts as a character, sort of like an unsung hero in a way, I guess, like behind the scenes, like helping the signers out and bravely leading the signer dragons into battle against the earthbound immortals. I thought that was really cool, and of course, I like the roar that it does. It's just so cool. Like, never get tired of hearing it, and yeah, definitely brings those chills. That's for sure. Um, I mean, I did wonder if it would be made into a real card. I mean, there was Ultimate Zoltan, which was kind of mistaken for the Crimson Dragon in a way, but it doesn't really quite look the same, and it's a dark, whereas the real card was a more accurate representation. Um, and I did wonder how many points the Crimson Dragon had. Like I thought it was 100, like Junk Speeder, but actually it's got 80 points, which made things a bit tricky for Stardust Junk in Genesis format. So based on the way the main deck is, I obviously can't use Crimson Dragon and Junk Speeder. Not unless, of course, the cap changes to 300 points. Um, but I doubt that would happen. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Number 5 would be Dragan, basically the member of Team Ragnarok who uses 4. Now, I am a fan of the Nordic gods, like, as I'm sure you're aware, and 4 is my favourite, like so much so that I made a Nordic beast deck. I mean, I just liked 4 more than the other two. Like even though Odin's pretty solid as well, um, and yeah, I just like the character who plays Thor. Basically, sort of the equivalent of Jack being the guy all about power, like showing some sort of rivalry. Um, um, yeah, I thought that was really cool, and he definitely had a cool vibe about him as well. Number four would be Leo. Um, yeah, the guy playing Morphtronics. Yeah, definitely the Joey of the series, but um, maybe a bit overconfident at the start, but in the end, he had every reason to be, and the Morphtronics were just so cool as well. So was Power Tool Dragon, so much so that I wanted to make the deck myself. Of course, I feel like it got a bit harder to fit everything in, like in later years. Um, um, and just definitely proved himself as a worthy heroic character in the end, even becoming a sixth sider, which does defeat the whole point of the show's name, like 5Ds. Might as well have been 6Ds. Am I right? Um, yeah, that's Leo. My number three would be Crow. Um, definitely another cool character as well. Wielding the Black Wings. I mean, I didn't think much of Black Wings at first and didn't care much for them, but then later on, I got very tempted to play them myself, and now I very much enjoy playing them whenever I can, and it became like my third favorite 5Ds archetype. Well, I don't know if it'd be third, but it's definitely up there for sure. Um, I don't know what else to say there. Number two would be Jack Atlas himself. A strong rival, even though he was a jerk at first. But, definitely ended up proving to be a very cool character in the end. And of course, when I did my top 10 favorite Yu-Gi-Oh characters overall, he made the list. Um, and yeah, Red Dragon Archfiend and his other forms, well, except Abyss, were definitely very cool synchros that everyone just wanted to play. Um, uh, that's it really. And of course, number one is definitely you say. Like, I know it, it seems to be like an assumption that Jack's the more favourable 5D's character for me, but no, it's actually you say that I'm more of a fan of, because you know me, my favourite character in any series like this is the main protagonist, definitely. Definitely one of the strongest and most awesome duelists throughout the entire series. Never losing in the series, well, except in a flashback. Um, and and he made it so that Junk Warrior and Stardust Dragon were definitely red hot favourites for everyone. Hence why Stardust Dragon is my favourite synchro. Um, Annoying when used against me though, but um, I guess it's easier to play around nowadays than it would have been like back in the day. Um, and of course, ultimately, I had to make some kind of deck that was focused on Stardust Dragon and Junk Warrior, hence Stardust Junk being a thing. And And that's it for the 5Ds list. Um, as for the Zexal list, number 10 would be Gurag. Um, it's weird listing one of the villains on this list, but Gurag was a cool character, basically the default muscle man of the Barrian Emperors. Um, um, but definitely cared a lot about Alito. I mean, the two of them being best friends, and of course wielding um, the cool monsters that are the hands, Ice Hand, Fire Hand, Giant Red Hand. Um, and of course, they ended up being real cards, naturally. Um, although I didn't play the hands in anything until, like, um, I guess much later on, a few years down the line, when I decided to play Hands of Danger. Um, yeah, because I just wanted to have something with dangers and something with hands. So yeah, that's what I created, and it became a good, decent, solid deck actually, and one of my epic elite. Um, Definitely taking inspiration from Girag. Number 9 is Mazar, another of the villainous Barrian emperors, just wielding the Tachyon dragons, even Galaxy Eyes Tachyon dragon, another awesome number monster. Um, and even though he was villainous, at least he had a lot of pride, and wanted to duel with honor. Um, so yeah, that is an admirable quality about him. I mean, it was a shame that he was on the wrong side, although naturally he was originally a good guy in his past life, so he definitely would have still retained those honourable qualities. And then a lot later on, when all the Barrian emperors came back and became good guys, funny how that works out. Number 8, Alito, the battling boxer guy. Like, I swear not everyone on here is a Barrian emperor. Um, uh, yeah, another cool character who prefers dueling in an honourable way, despite being on the wrong side, and wielded the battling boxers, including one of my favourites, like Comet Cestus. Excuse me, and that made me want to make battling boxers, and it became, I guess, my third favourite Zexal archetype, um, and one of my top favourite decks of all time. Um, and yeah, it was nice seeing cool epic back and forths between him and Yuma. Um, that's all there is to say. Number 7, Quinton. Yes, one of those guys with the crests. Definitely the more cool, calm, and collected member of the group, for sure. Um, uh, and his deck style was quite cool, but having basically having level 9 science fiction type monsters, basically building up to Dyson Sphere, another cool number monster. Um, uh, can't think of anything else to say there. Yeah, I'm struggling to think of stuff, and I'm trying not to make this too long. Um, Number 6 is Nistro, the guy who played the Bouncers and then the Heroic Challengers and Champions. Another character that likes to duel with pride and honor. Yeah, you can definitely see some sort of theme here. I do admire anime characters with this quality. Um, yeah, he always prefers to play with his favourite cards and clash his ace monster, hero champion Excalibur, with another ace monster. Um, I mean, it was nice that he gave Excalibur to Yuma, but what would his ace monster be after that? Um, Surely not Kusanagi. But who knows? Maybe he had another copy of Excalibur, or maybe he secretly had Clavnis, the heroic champion we got much later on. In what set did it come out? Was it Cyberstorm? Cyberstorm Access? Yeah, the one with that firewall monster on the cover came out 2 years ago. I should know this since I play the card myself. I can't remember the name, but you must know what I'm talking about. Anyway, number 5, Roku, the old man from that temple, theorized to be an older Yugi. Um, I guess I liked him because of the type of decks he was playing. Basically, he was playing all the cards that Yugi would have played, including the Poker Knights and Blackluster Soldier and even Mirror Force. And it was a pleasant surprise seeing Arcana Knight Joker. And of course, he's the only character in the series that didn't use Xyz monsters, which was quite interesting. Um, I guess that's why I liked him more, just using all the cards, um, basically cards that Yugi used. Number 4 is Utopia. Well, again, technically he counts as a character. Um, uh, yeah, it's cool having like um, a dual monster spirit on the side of good, just doing noble heroic things, especially when he was defending Astral from number 96. Um, and then coming to Yuma's aid. Um, so yeah, I thought that was cool. Speaking of Astral, he's at number 3. Um, Definitely a strong, cool, calm, collected, heroic character, like Yusei and Yama Yugi. Um, yeah, just helping Yuma out, um, guiding him. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. And number 2 is Yuma himself. Yeah, shock horror. The main character isn't my favourite character of Zexal. Um, I mean, he's still a favourite because he's the main protagonist. But there's one that I just like a lot more. Um, yeah, a new fun-loving duelist, basically the Jaden Yuki and Joey of the series. It's a shame there were a fraction of duels that he lost, um, but when he won, it was in situations where it definitely did count, and yeah, was able to bring it to him when it counted. Um, and definitely had the heart of a duelist. And in at number 1, my favourite Zexal character is Kite. He's just an absolute badass, wielding my second favourite Zexal archetype, Galaxies. Um, I mean, the photons and the galaxies are really cool monsters and very underrated. It became a very solid deck, and galaxy-eyed photon dragon, of course, became one of my favourite boss monsters, as well as dragons. Um, and yeah, Kite definitely had a lot of badass moments, and just almost never lost, with his only loss being against Tron. Um, Plus, it was epic when he and Mazar duelled. That was the stuff of legends. And that's going to do it for the list. Guys, please, for the love of God, don't make me do this for Arc 5 and Brains. This was too much. Um, Number 5, top 10 of your favourite cartoon shows you watched when you were a kid. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this one for a moment. I had to think a lot about this, but ended up writing them down. Um, so number 10 would be Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I mean, definitely a funny character. It was great to watch, whether in cartoon form or in the movies. 9 would be Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, which I would enjoy watching like after school on Tuesdays. Um, Sylvester and Tweety being hot favourites from the Looney Tunes series. Then again, they were all great. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig. Um, but yeah, that brought back some memories. Number 8 would be Captain Planet. Very addictive show to watch from way back in the day. Um, I don't think I saw every single episode, but yeah, I definitely saw a lot. And yeah, those were fond memories. Number 7 was The Mask. Smoking. Yeah, I love watching it. The Mask being an absolute lunatic, but ended up being a worthy hero when it counted. But shame Lieutenant Calloway couldn't see that. Um, Number 6 is Ghostbusters. Uh, yeah, iconic soundtrack. Um, yeah, great fun show to watch. Seeing them try and catch all the different types of ghosts, and me and my brother even had uh, the action figures and their car, um, like back in the day. Good times. Number 5 was Sonic the Hedgehog, but more specifically the series with Snively and Swapbots, Princess Sally, and what have you. Uh, yeah, that was fun, and was part of what led me to being a true fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, even though I haven't kept track of the games lately. Um, Number 4 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, more specifically, the one from the late 80s and early 90s. Um, Loved watching that, just couldn't get enough of it. And became so much of a fan that, again, I even had a lot of the toys. Number 3 would be He-Man. Well, more specifically, the um, early 90s version, uh, where he goes to Primus and went to the future, um, and was followed by Skeletor. Um, then again, I guess any version of He-Man was great, but that was the cartoon series that just stuck the most with me and had a special place in my heart. And naturally, again, I had the action figures. Although I think there was one point where He-Man's sword, um, yeah, the toy He-Man sword broke, and I was so gutted. I think it was an easy fix though with sellotape. Um, Now, these next two were a really tough choice, but what I went with was putting Thundercats at number two. Best cartoon of the 80s, definitely. Um, I don't think anything could have topped that for me. Um, Although I only ever watched the first series of it, like back in the day. But it was definitely the most iconic one. I didn't even know that there was a season two, three, and four until like much later, like the mid 2000s. Um, but yeah, it was just awesome. Like seeing the Thundercats do heroic things and defeat Mumra, um, and the mutants, of course. I mean, it just felt like the mutants were more of the comic relief than anything, even though they're supposed to be the fear makers, not the ones who fear, quoted by Slive. Um, but yeah, Mumra was definitely the more serious villain and the more scary, although he never scared me as a kid. I mean, I don't know about other children of the 80s. Um, but yeah, that's that. And number one would have to be The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, more specifically the one with Scratch, Grounder, Coconuts. Yeah, that series. That became a red hot favourite that I loved watching and would just watch whenever I can. Um, which again led me to being a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, even doing my own fan made Sonic comics, and eventually playing all the Sonic games. Six, ice cream or chocolate chips? Ice cream. I love them more. Seven, if you were in the Halloween movies, which character would you be? And if you were in Friday the 13th, which character would you be? Can't put a question within a question. I mean, that technically then counts as two questions. Um, I'm afraid I'm not sure I can answer this because I don't remember the names of all the characters in both Halloween series. Um, but that would be a hard one to remember. I mean, in Halloween, the only other ones I can remember are Laurie and Loomis. Um, but even then, I don't know whether or not I'd be Loomis. And as for Friday the 13th, well, besides Jason, I only remember Tommy Jarvis and uh, Mrs. Voorhees. I can't even remember the name of the first final girl like in that series. Um, uh, I don't know. I'm afraid I can't really think of anyone who I'd be. Sorry. Um, 8. Did you know they're making a Scream 7 in February 2026? I did not know that, no. I need to catch up. I haven't even seen the sixth one yet. Now, there was one other question which was put in the comments of my Edison game, Rainbow Neoson versus Blackwings, which doesn't have any relevance to the video. Like, again, please stop posting comments on a video that have nothing to do with the video. Like, come on now, I've asked this multiple times already. And the question was, is Monster Reborn at 1 or 3 in Richician format? And the answer is 1. Definitely 1, because that's where Monster Reborn should be. I mean, even though it's my favourite spell, having 2 or 3 would be way too much. Um, and just a bit too over the top. So 1 is definitely fine. Um, even though it's still annoying when people use it to steal my Dark Magician. Not going to name any names of those who've done that to me in the past. And that's going to do it for questions in this episode. So thanks for your guys' questions, very cool ones as always. And if you have any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments section down below. And remember, I do these episodes every Wednesday afternoon or evening, UK time. So be sure to get your questions in before then so that you don't miss out. Although I will let you guys know if I change the day that I do this. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. See you later. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Richician.